6:05. 6:02. 6:02. In the room, we have, I'm going to go left to right. We have Erica Kinda, Representative Wong, Representative Lippert-Gabby-Rapedian, Councilor Member Ann.
Chris Barrett.
Thank you. So on Zoom, we have Rocco Camerata. Hey, Rocco.
Hi, how are you?
So I'm just going to state right now that we have tried to scoot around the table as close as we can. And what I will do is if someone's speaking, I will try to remember to call their name. If I forget to call your name, please just state your name. So I just want to start with thanking the representatives who are here. So thank you so much for taking some time to come and chat with us. The Economic Development Council has been busy this year. The town council has asked us to allocate $1 million. And we just want to give you a quick update on where we allocated the funds, the programs that are going on. And then we get some insight from you on ways we can work best with you, what your thinking is on how we as Wakefield can build that relationship even stronger than it is, even though it's a strong relationship. Right. So what we did with the $1 million that the town council asked us to allocate, we allocated a significant amount to the facade program, really looking to revitalize downtown, other commercial areas within Wakefield. That's been going extremely well. I'm just going to tick down the amounts, and then I'm going to throw it to Aaron to kind of give a little bit more detail about the implementation. The next program that we've allocated funds to is municipal marketing, so that we can then sell Wakefield as a great place to live, a great place to work, just a great place in general. We're looking to sign a marketing company next week, a week or two. Yeah. The next program is the pop-up. So we have a space that's going to open October 1st. That started open October 1st. Folks need an explanation of what a pop-up is?
We funded that through the state, some big pop-up program grant funding during COVID, actually.
Yeah. The next one is, we're calling it the CASE program, Creative Arts and Community Events, so that we can engage the community a bit more and then tie it into economic development, having events to bring folks downtown, bring into business, or bringing some creative arts. Some of the programs that we already funded is the July Parade, which I guess had about 35,000 folks downtown, which was really amazing. The Movies by the Lake, we helped fund that. And then what's coming in the pipeline is our creative arts program through Galvin Middle School. So we're getting the kids in Galvin Middle School to work on a mosaic project, and then having the pieces out within businesses, and then having those pieces come back into Galvin, again, just to engage the community. The other one I think that is in the pipeline is the Winter Stroll and Wakefield Festival. The next program is digital marketing. So what we did is got some of the smaller businesses that are looking to really expand and come into the channels so they can build their social media presence. What you see in front of you is the next program, which is updating our market assessment. The assessment was done in 2016. We gave the same vendor to go ahead and update that for 2025. And the last one is for the Chamber of Commerce for a speaker series to kind of, again, try to engage the business community. Anyone is welcome to partake in this, which is to kind of help folks to understand business a little bit better. So we've been busy allocating funds. Aaron's been busy managing all the programs. Karen, is there anything additional you want to add?
Yeah, I guess the one thing I'll add, you can't see me on camera.
Erin's,
I guess the one thing I'll add is I just want to thank you, both of you, state reps, for $100,000 actually part of the earmark with the facade sign was on top of the $400,000 that we allocated. So yeah, we were able to help around 20 or so businesses, and now we have another round that we're supporting as well. And so we'd love to share some of those examples with you guys, but I think it's been really transformative for our downtown, the work that's been done, and it's been really great. And then the project pop-up, you're right, you guys funded a few projects through COVID, and then you've also helped fund the Regional Economic Development Organization through Middle Century Coalition. We were able to do our mobile pop-up a few years ago, and then there was so much excitement. That's why we decided to allocate more money to the brick and mortar. So I just wanted to say thank you. And yeah, a lot of exciting projects. All the businesses have been very receptive and thankful for the programs we've offered, and the work just continues on. So thank you.
I'm just gonna, Tanya's joined us on Zoom. Tanya's also a member of the council. Hi, Tanya.
Thanks, Will.
So I'm just gonna throw it out to the council. Do we have any comments, any questions for the representatives before we ask them to ask us?
Thank you for being here very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of your time.
Zoom? Danny? Yeah. Okay. And good. Yeah. Rocco, anything from you?
Nope. Thanks for being here. That's for sure.
Tanya?
Nothing from me.
So the one thing that I actually wanted to ask about is the economic development bill that was passed in November 2024. So I was, of course, rifling through it right before this. And there seems like there's some really interesting items in there. And I was just curious if, for who Wakefield is, if there's items in there that you think we should particularly be mindful of, and maybe work with you folks. And again, also when the new town administrator comes in, maybe look to target those areas.
Sure. Well, I think you're right. So the economic development bill, I think it passed in November last year. So we finished our formal session, but we kept working all the way through the fall and campaign season. And you're right, I had my office sort of take a look and flag some of the things that you probably are already familiar with, but certainly would be happy to stay in touch with you as we look at different executive branch agencies that may be then setting up the grant opportunities or deploying the funding to make sure that you all are aware of that. And I think the representative and I and Senator Lewis try our very best to, when we see a grant opportunity, make sure if it's a public safety, I reach out to the chiefs right here in this building. If it's an economic development, I'll have someone check in with Aaron, but also being mindful that you all are sort of a nimble and really thoughtful group that's really coordinated to jump on these opportunities. We'll certainly make sure that you're aware of them as well. But some of the things, that I was excited about included our funding for a business front door. So this is sort of a one-stop shop online where business owners can go and see what sort of grant opportunities there are. And one that was stood up is around, energy efficiency, for example, or other sort of capital projects that maybe small business owners or larger ones would want to apply for. There's also $100 million authorized that we authorized for local economic development grants to support economic development in cities and towns. So let's keep an eye on that and see what sort of things are going to be deployed. Wakefield has done a really great job over the years securing competitive grant funding. I'm thinking, for example, of one that I think the town is implementing right now around the Green Street, that intersection, Oak Street, Green Street, Greenwood, right, to try to make sure it's more pedestrian friendly. That's really supporting the business community down there. More pedestrian access means more people can shop and enjoy what Wakefield has to offer. But presumably some of these local economic development grants that are authorized through the new bill, the new law, sort of fall in that kind of category. So there's that. There's $25 million for small business technology grants. So that would help early stage companies commercialize new and innovative technologies developed here in Massachusetts into Mass Ventures. Several years ago, I actually We have a manufacturer's award, and it was nice to select a manufacturer here in Wakefield. As you all may know, I live in Melrose, we're like 96% residential. So there are like no manufacturers there, but Wakefield has the potential to sort of attract that kind of talent. And it sounds like some of the work you're already doing would really align and dovetail nicely with that kind of grant opportunity. What else? $50 million for Cultural Facilities Fund. So you've got Albion Cultural Exchange, which our offices have been really glad to secure a number of earmarks over the years for that facility. And this, you know, is another one where it's going to offer resources for capital improvements at cultural facilities like museums, theaters, and performance venues. So that's really exciting to hear that you all are doing that work in the creative arts and community space. I think that'd be perfect. Just a couple more, 10 million for Biz Empower, matching grants to support small businesses with capital related needs like equipment. And then there's 35 million for community development financial institutions that then can provide grants to help disadvantaged and underserved businesses. So there's a whole lot in there. If you'd like, you know, we can get you sort of a fact sheet about some of that. And also if there are any particular things that I've mentioned or that Juan thinks of or what have you, we can follow up with the, you know, in all these bills, the way the law will work is it'll sort of direct that opportunity to a particular office in the administration. So then we could follow up with them to see when they're planning to deploy the funds. And then connect you with that kind of, and then you can connect other businesses in the community, the Chamber of Commerce can help their members, that sort of thing.
And I'm very fortunate to represent Wakefield with the state delegation because you have 2 reps. That means you have a guaranteed 2 votes in anything we do. You know, some towns and cities say, oh, we got 1 rep, he'll represent us. Yes, that's true, but when you have 2 that works together, we can get a lot more done. Plus the Senate. You know, the senator is very good for us and we work as a group. And, you know, it's a great team.
Can I, we're an advisory board, so we do a lot of conversation. So the one thing that I thought was really interesting, because we chatted with Ian's last name, the director of the Wakefield.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
WCAT?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he and I chatted a little bit about sort of their challenges right now where everyone's moving to streaming. So some of those grants, the performing one, is that something that they would be able to go for, or that would help them as a public access TV?
My guess is no, but we can look more closely. The very brief description I provided seems really grounded in sort of the facilities that are physical facilities. But it's a good question because they are sort of in an age where so many people are accessing art and entertainment online or on their screens, including tonight. This is quite entertaining, I'm sure, for anyone watching at home. You know, it's a good question if we should rethink or take another look at that about eligibility. We did, as a state delegation, get an earmark for WCAT a couple fiscal years ago, recognizing those constraints. And there is a tension in the state legislature about how the funding is drying up with the streaming, and if there's a different way to ensure that we're appropriately providing resources to what is a critical part of people staying civically engaged in their cities and towns.
And we might be able to talk to the cable companies as the house, not as just us, and maybe put a little more pressure, having them do more for the community. One thing I'm trying to look at this year is like the VFW and the American Legion, see if they can give them a discount because of who they are, or even give it to them free. Because what happened in Sardis, the American Legion had Wi-Fi and they were closed during the summer. So they said, oh, we'll not have it during the summer. And then when they came up and renewed in September, they said the price went up because they were not grandfathered from the old price. So this is where we have to talk to cable as a group and say, it should be for the Commonwealth. And if we can do it for the Commonwealth, of course, we're included.
Chris, you want to say something? Thank you. You have anything to say? No? Let's think it. That's great, thank you, thank you. Maybe what we'll do is we'll get a copy of the, I mean, I just read the summary.
Yes.
If we get a copy, that's something we can discuss as a council. And make those recommendations, like perhaps we should go after this or look into this a little bit further. So thank you.
And you're lucky to have Ms. Kakinda here, because she's on top of everything as well, yeah.
Yes, yeah, we're definitely lucky to have her. Yes.
And of course, we have a new administrator. So just like Steve Mayo, we did go to him first with suggestions, and he told us what he would like to prioritize, because he was this administrator, and we would like to do the same. Get everyone working as a team.
Erin had put in her newsletter about the business front door program, which is really exciting. That's like been a helpful resource for small business.
I'm sorry to pause just for a second. So Annie's speaking right now.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
And then also the Business Power grant funding, especially as ARPA funds, are depleted for small businesses. Like we really rely on that grant funding. So
Thank you for that. I also do maintain a small business resource. It was the first resource I made. I'm the state's first COVID representative, so I got sworn in March 2020. And there wasn't a lot, we were all hunkered down. And at the time, the Melrose Mayor reached out and said, I'm getting all these questions from small businesses about what are they supposed to do? And he said, maybe you could create like a resource. And I really credit that idea. So I did, and we maintain it, we keep it updated. And there I also have ones now on unemployment, on mental well-being, on housing, because we get a lot of questions from residents. And so the small business resources on my website, it's just kateforrep.com. And so you can go to resources and pull it up, and we try to maintain information about some of the things we talked about tonight. And also always welcome someone emailing me to let me know that I'm missing something, or, and we can add it. So, but it is, it was such a challenging time to be in the pandemic and totally shut down. And we did learn a lot though. So now you're instituting like the pop-ups to continue, or I'm glad to hear that some of those grants that have continued have been really impactful.
I'm just gonna check on Zoom. Rocco, do you have any questions or any comments?
I do not, thank you.
Tanya?
Not at this time.
You're welcome to stay, welcome to go. I know you folks are very busy. We're just gonna continue to move through the.
Is there anything that any of you would want us just to take back to the State House when we're thinking about, we have a 2-year session, so we still have all of this fall through till July, but we've also changed our rules to say we can keep working on some of the big bills that are in conference committee all the way through the year. So just anything, because you all wear different hats, that you think are just themes that are resonating for you lately that you want us to be mindful of when we think about what's coming our way in terms of maybe prioritizing kinds of policies or looking out for certain funding opportunities.
Well, any opportunities for the council, any opportunities for advisory council to obtain more funding, any avenues that would be available for that, we would certainly be welcome to entertain or get some insight into. Because I think, in essence, we're ARPA funded, not some legs with this committee. We would like to, with this advisory council, we'd like to see it continue to push forward and work economic development. And any, funding sources that may pop up.
Recording in progress.
Nice to hear.
Okay, we'll certainly keep our ears out. And hopefully also the work that you're doing will demonstrate a real return on investment. So in the sense that you might, certainly will look for opportunities to supplement, right? But you may actually be able to prove your own worth to the town council over the years, because you've got this money to start, but think about all the things you may be able to bring in with it, right?
What we've been it feels like most successful with is, sign or facade and sign programs, and any avenues for more funding for that.
Yes.
is something that, as we look at Envision Wakefield kind of stuff floating around, any kind of community funding like that, because that money was well received and I think very well spent from our end.
That's great. We also did an earmark, was it, I think not this fiscal year, but last fiscal year, for some funding for the chamber to put up some banners downtown as well, same kind of. Yeah, that's great.
We're looking for hammers and nails and windows and siding.
I'm sorry, one thing in the book. So what we try to do is tie to our mission, and our mission is to be strategic and to think really about certain areas. And I think, I'm now just sort of telling the council now, I think the next year would be really that we want to focus on bigger, supporting more of the industrial base. I think what Steve Mayo did, which was absolutely amazing, was the parent of a 13-year-old thrill. He really focused on the school system, which is, to me, the school system here is one of our shining. And I think what we really need to do, and to your point, where the town administrator wants to go, really looking at sort of maintaining and growing our industrial tax base. And the one other element within our charter that maybe we haven't focused enough on, that maybe we want to focus a little bit more on, is the employee side of things. We're very much focused on the property owner and the employer, and maybe taking a moment to think more about how we can be supportive of the employees. So some of the earmarks within the economic development bill do that. And so us also thinking, how can we make some recommendations or advise on those areas, and then work with you folks in getting some resources to help us. Stacey?
My question was more around timing. So one of the things, a conversation I've been having not with this group, is there's a handful of buildings around town that call for, fill in the blank, refresh, renewal, something, something. But then as we pulled up another 10,000 feet, we realized that we probably need, and with the new town administrator, to do really a space needs assessment. And it's perhaps something that we would ask you about the advisability of looking for an earmark for that. So process-wise or timing-wise, how would that come through to you?
I think we would have to wait. If we could find out what you need first, then next year's budget, we would go and try to get money funded. But what I would like to see is what lots and how big of the lots you have that you want to have people come in. Because what I did for Plymouth and Southwest Cape Cod was 2 years ago. I invited the ambassador of Taiwan to the State House to meet the Speaker, Senate President, and the governor. And, it was good. We made great friends. And then she went back to Taiwan and vice president. And I still have her cell phone. So when she became vice president, I called her up and said, congratulations. We did so great in Massachusetts with you, and you were the ambassador. And then she said, what can I do for you? And that's when I said, and I said, I would love for you to buy more things in Massachusetts. And she said, what do you have on the top of your head? I said, cranberries. Cape Cod is cranberries. Plymouth. Next thing I know, been buying cranberries from Plymouth. And if we have, once we start producing something, maybe we can get them to buy. Or the other thing I asked them also is they're always getting threatened by China taking over. I said, if you have any manufacturers that want to move to the US, please call me first and I'll try to get you some locations. And they should say, why not the West Coast? I said, the West Coast, you're already serving the people in the Pacific. Come to Massachusetts, have a stamp made in the USA, gateway to Europe.
There you go.
And he said, great idea. I said, get bigger companies.
Right, yeah. That's great.
So I'm trying to work on that. I would love to have Wakefield as one of the places to bring.
We have the space. Yes.
And give me the airport, the harbor, as much as within 128.
The highways.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that's why I explained to her. Hopefully something comes out of that.
So, and just to circle back, to add to that, there would be a fiscal year 27 budget we'd be working on, that the governor will file a proposal in January of this coming year.
Okay.
And then the House takes up a budget deliberation in April. And so in the interim, the state delegation would meet with the town administrator and sort of say, you've heard from every department. So which ones really rise to the top for you right now that we can propose earmarks or request earmarks and hopefully champion and gets, funding to come to you.
Great.
There also could be an economic development bill next year. We typically do one every session. And sometimes there's funding in those for earmarks. And then finally, what we did, we have some supplemental budgets that come through during the year because something is running, it needs more funding. We didn't fund quite enough. It's running a deficit, so we might add funding, or we might have a surplus. So when the voters passed the fair share amendment or the millionaire's tax some years ago, we've been really conservative in terms of what we thought we would add to our state budget for that. And those funds are limited to education and transportation. But this year we ran a pretty significant surplus because we were conservative. So we were able to put more money into some of the big statewide initiatives, but we also had an opportunity as individual legislators to request earmarks, which we did. And that's how we got $100,000 for road improvements to Wakefield and another $25,000 for the police department. So there are always potentially vehicles for earmarks, even outside of the fiscal year budget. The big question is what is happening at a federal level. And so to the degree that we are hearing that and seeing that legislation is getting passed and proposed that is going to, remove billions of dollars from the state, what the state relies on to sort of fund, for example, mass health, which is our largest funding. There is no way the state can backfill that amount of funding. And we have to pass a balanced budget every year. Congress does not. So just like you do, I'm town council. So it could be that we're heading into a period of time where there will be no potential for earmarks. I don't know. So that's just the big question. The other thought is just MAPC, the regional group that does a lot of work with towns and cities. That seems like a kind of project that they might easily be able to take on to help you all do that assessment of sort of what is the space that you have, what are underutilized existing buildings, where is there vacant space where we can connect you now, thank you, to, international potential. So that's another thought.
Great, thank you. Very helpful. Super helpful. Thank you.
Anyone else? On Zoom, anyone? Rocco, Tanya? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you for thinking to invite us.
Yeah, anytime, you're always
Yeah.
welcome. Yeah.
It's a really great group you have, so we would love to hear from any of you anytime, with things you see or are hearing. And we can certainly follow up with some of those grant programs and see where they stand on getting stood up and operational.
So item number 3 is the introduction of Peg Manager. Unfortunately, Peg is sick, so she's not going to join us tonight. What she did do is she did send us the draft market assessment. So just for the representatives, Fine Point is the company. They had previously done a market assessment. And we asked them to update it for 2025. So they're actually focusing on some of the areas that we're talking about. They did a nice, I actually went through, I'm not sure I even looked at the appendix. They put together a nice, almost executive summary. And I wasn't sure if folks here wanted to discuss certain elements of it. There are a couple of slides that I wouldn't mind digging into. I don't know. Probably take one all the time.
Peg going to make another appearance with us?
So we will reschedule with her. What I did want to do maybe is just highlight a couple of things. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So the one thing that I think is really interesting, and this is, Aaron and I have talked about this a bit, the sales bleed here in Wakefield, to me, is really interesting. Because when you look at the numbers, first off, the numbers of how much Wakefield actually generates, it's really interesting to see the level. Pretty high number. Yeah, retail gap analysis that's on page 21 in the guide to the business landscape. And so definitely needing, hey, here, almost maybe I will speak to this because of your background. That the area 2, that the residents spend 1.46 billion seems like an incredibly high amount. And then looking at the certain areas where there is sales bleed and where there isn't sales bleed, I thought was really kind of interesting to see that. And that 2.3 million is spent outside of the area every year. And to me, that seems like a number that maybe we should at some point try to focus on and think of maybe some creative ideas to try to capture that back into Wakefield. Those numbers just jumped out at me.
So will Peg be here next time? Because this is definitely something that merits sitting and going through, and each of us, because there's a ton of detail here, which is great. Will she be here next time so that we can go through it, get questions, or?
Yeah, we have to reschedule.
Okay.
It's a wonderful piece to spend some time looking through.
Yes.
More than overdue. I think it will be helpful as we kind of move forward.
Well, it kind of holds hands with the marketing piece too, right? Like it's a great tool to have as you jump into hiring a marketing person. So, yeah. It goes hand in hand.
We try to, looking at, I'm a very visual person, so looking at building out, revitalizing the brick and mortar, selling, so to me, it's you build it out, you market it, and in marketing, you figure out where you need to focus, and then you help the businesses, you help employees. So looking at all the programs that we have funded, to me, it really builds out hierarchy, building up foundation and moving up to make sure we're trying to hit all the sort of business elements. Anything else jump out at anybody? Rocco? On Zoom? Anything? No?
Nope.
Tanya? Laurie?
The one thing is that there's a mention of, and we had talked about this, Wakefield new dining options and entertainment and all that kind of stuff, and I think there was a mention of maybe providing grant money or grants or access to event booking companies, so that the existing venues and restaurants and spaces here that might want live entertainment or stand-up comedy and don't know how to get their hands on that, maybe that could be something that would create entertainment and then also draw people in. They mentioned that in a different way than we discussed it, so that's why I thought that.
How would you go about that? How would you?
I mean, I don't go out much, so I don't know what's around, but I would list the places that could have a band comfortably, where people could come in and out, and of those, I'd approach them and see, have you ever thought about live entertainment? If we could help you get it, would that be interesting?
Are there companies that you know of that do that, so they sort of do the bookings?
I did like general Google searches. I don't know any personally. Yeah,
Yeah, but it exists.
they exist.
Yeah.
But that also goes back to town council, because I think there's an entertainment piece, a licensing or permit that needs to be done in a given restaurant to bring entertainment in. Aaron, you probably know that.
For licensing it
To bring entertainment into a facility, there's
yeah, I mean, I don't know if they need a certain license. I guess it depends. I think I'd have to ask Sherry, but I know they need their common, like the normal
There were a couple
licenses.
Venues that wanted to bring entertainment in, but couldn't quite get it approved through town council.
Is there a bylaw? I feel like,
It may well be.
you know what I
about-
mean? There may be a bylaw that addresses it and, yeah, that'd be good. I'll look at that.
I have an entertainment license just for my TV.
Is that TV?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the entertainment.
But there is like, in different municipalities that I've worked in, like, if you want to have like a live entertainment, you do have to have like an additional license. But I don't know if that's the same. for
Yeah, I don't
Wakefield.
think we do. I
Yeah.
think there's just it's certain things in the bylaw, like the hours and things like
Yeah.
that. But I don't think there's a license per se.
And if there was a venue that didn't serve alcohol, there's provisional temporary beer and wine licenses and things like that too, that could.
They take like 90, the beer and wine licenses take 90 days to approve, like the temporary alcohol licenses. So you really have to like plan ahead and be mindful and get all of your like paperwork into town council before the meeting. However, I've had success in having private events with you buy a ticket and there's like wine included.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that a specific to Wakefield, or is that, you found that in other municipalities? And then,
I feel like it depends on the specific license, but I would say like 30 to 90 days. Yeah.
anyone else?
No, yeah, you're right. I've seen the 1 day licenses come through, but I don't, I'm not that close to that process yet. So.
Yeah, that's been for like liquor license, or 1 day liquor license, but like music and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
The entertainment comment, I think you're fine. You just need to follow like the hours of operation and things like that.
There's a restaurant in town that does really good like Sunday brunches with entertainment. It's like really fun.
Okay, great, so we'll circle back with Peg and see if we can get her back. Now we get to the fun part. Did everyone get a chance to look at the meeting minutes? Yeah, Marco, Tanya, yeah.
Yep.
So I want to make a motion.
Oh, I just didn't know are you doing it for both of them or just the one? Because I don't know if you need a vote for the second.
If people want. You can just do the first one. So does someone want to make a motion for the July 23rd?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the July 23rd meeting minutes.
Second.
Second. Chris, Holly, second. Rocco?
Approved.
Tanya?
Approved.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you both for coming. Really
Good to see
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so we received an open meeting law complaint. Folks get a chance to look at that. You happen to have a copy?
No, I didn't bring it with me.
You have it? Thanks. Thank you. That's big font.
Yeah.
The attachment,
That's actually just the attachment.
just attachment.
You got the other piece in there.
Oh, you do? You back your stuff. So I'm gonna pause for a second and roll back to number 3, because I want to reiterate that this is a draft. So they are making some adjustments. And then when they present it, will be the final.
And then Julie, how widely will this be disseminated? Is this going to be a public document or just working for the group? Or-
it's a public document. I think the previous one went up on the town website. Okay. So you see an open meeting law complaint from Julie Scott. I think she's supposed to put her address, but it was PO Box 174 Wakefield. She's specific to myself and Erin. And I'm going to read what's written on the actual complaint. The EDC should be transparent as to recipients of the ARPA appropriations, meet with a quorum, do not share info outside of meetings. Spreadsheets must look professional. Lump sums on a sheet do not show specific allocations and adequately inform EDC members. A new landlord did not suffer a loss of business during COVID. Question their ARPA sign and facade funding. Question oversight of a mixed-use building. Our apartment renovations using ARPA funds. Are members aware of recipients' names prior to them being chosen so they have no conflicts of interest? And it's signed by Julie Scott on 9/17. So we have two ways of dealing with this. We can address it, or we can ask Town Council Tom Mullen to address it. Anyone have any questions, comments?
And I would make a motion to refer a response to the open meeting complaint to Council Tom Mullen and proceed accordingly to his direction.
I'll second that.
Okay, Ally seconds. Tanya?
I agree,
Marco agrees. Tanya?
definitely.
Yep, I agree.
Ann?
Agree.
Annie?
I agree.
Joanne agrees.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
So number 6.
Can we have that one on, you know, I sit on the board.
Oh, okay, thank you. You just do everything, huh? So I'm not, so we had Ian, who's the executive director of WCA TV. We're chatting a little bit about the opportunity of his folks offering their services to businesses to put together sort of business focused videos or where businesses would bring the content and they would supply the folks, the equipment, and I think the editing to put it all together so that businesses could then use it to market their businesses. And it seemed like a great way to leverage those services and also help businesses get a professional looking social media or video presentation at a very reasonable cost. So I wanted to just ask folks what they think here. There's additional money from the digital marketing.
Yes. About 20 grand.
Yeah, it's about $20,000. What folks thought about maybe taking the funds from the digital marketing program and rolling that into this sort of program, because it's still, in a way, it's digital marketing, it's still helping the businesses. It actually seemed like a good program.
I think it's great. Anything we can do to help the businesses, and a lot of people don't have funds to get out there and do it. So.
I had a business owner ask me if I was willing to participate today, so I'm in.
In a video?
Yeah, do I need to leave? And
Yeah, I don't know if you're,
I was wondering about that. Yeah, I'll step out.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's
no.
voting on something that she'll be getting.
Yeah, I think it's smart.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's smart to step out because I would like to participate in it.
1, 2, 3.
I'm dying, just,
You did the same thing, right?
my little
Like, what,
fingers were just going.
Drop them like flies, what's going on?
I honestly,
No,
we
I'm
want to
gonna-
talk to I would want to talk to Tom Mullen about that too, if she could even take advantage of it as well.
That's actually where I was going.
Yeah.
Is that she actually would We can.
I don't think, yeah, I think it's appropriate that she steps out, but I think we still need to follow up with Tom Mullen in regard.
I agree,
Yeah.
I agree, because that's where I was going, is like, you can't be on this board and partake. But yes, we'll ask Tom what he thinks. Okay, you were gonna say something?
I was just pondering the cost per video and how much money we should spend to that, how many people we have interested in doing it.
So what I would suggest, I asked Ian to put together a proposal, and he kind of did sort of a bullet. I would suggest that we ask Ian to put together a more formal proposal and get more formal numbers. Yeah. And then we can vote on that.
Yeah,
It was
I would
my
agree with
thought.
that. I mean, if it's, 2,500 a piece,
No, it's like,
it's 500 is a whole
yeah,
different
it's like
kind of.
5 to 1,000, yeah, depending on the size and the complexity.
Yeah.
I
The nice
think it's a
thing-
wonderful business driver, and I absolutely believe it's something we should work with.
And we have to figure out, like Chris said, how to delegate the money, would it be a lottery type thing? More people that.
So what we were thinking is, because Erin has a list of folks who were interested in digital marketing, so start with those folks, right? And then maybe follow us with that type of program.
I would consider too, if folks want to apply, that they have to watch the digital marketing training programs too, that are out there. Just so it becomes also a learning, program as well for these businesses.
Holly, did you have something?
Oh.
Tanya? No. Tanya shook her head no.
The smile was quite worried.
Rocco?
I think it's a great idea. I was going to ask what businesses would be eligible for that, but I think you just answered that. So
I would think, like, Wakefield. So that's very similar to the digital marketing, right?
Yeah, I think.
yeah,
If you want, between Julian and I can work with Ian to he did put some parameters together, more official parameters that I think would be, again, very in line with digital marketing, maybe add a few other things, not to make it harder, but just things maybe we didn't think about, and then can bring it back.
Yeah. Just want to make sure folks were, if you are like. Okay, great. You have something else?
Oh, I was gonna say, I bet you he'll have the high school kids that are in the TV program participate in
That'd be amazing.
editing and shooting, and that would just be it's a nice tie-in, like it's a good educational component as
Public-private
well.
partnership.
Yeah, I love it.
yep.
Would you mind getting Ally back? Yes. Oh, both of them.
So no vote today, we'll come back with the stuff and then.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
who was gonna circle in just to make sure Tom Mullen understands?
Oh, I'll follow, you wanna follow up with
I have
her?
a couple of things with him, so why
Okay.
don't I
Okay.
follow up with a couple of things? Okay. Because I have to do the.
I'm glad I said something because I didn't know it was this. So I'm glad that I figured that out. Yeah.
All right, number 7, economic director, development director updates.
Honestly, I feel I can, I went to the town council, can you see me on?
Want to sit at the table?
Oh, no, it's okay.
It's a big kid table.
You can see me here, right? Yeah. So I went to the town council on Monday night, and present.
I'm sorry, it's just the back of your head.
Oh, maybe that's what I want.
Yeah.
I wanna be incognito.
There you go.
Stacy feels part of the conversation as well. Oh, geez.
I'm looking at the.
Now I'm gonna block it.
Come on
Yeah,
down.
come on down.
Oh, no. How about,
Right
okay,
in front of Stacy. There you go. Almost.
there, I
There you
can
go.
sit here.
Yeah.
And I can look at that camera. Look,
Oh,
now
there
see,
you go. Yeah,
Stacy's
that's
still
it.
part of the
That's
con-
it. That's it.
You're close.
Trying to do both cameras. We haven't had it where people sat here, so. So I went to the town council on Monday night and did a presentation just based on what, economic development does in our office. Introduced Marissa Meany, our new senior planner, but also went into details about the ARPA programs that we're running. And I think everyone was really receptive and excited about the programs. And I think the pop-up, once that's gonna get going, October 1st is hopefully the targeted date. There'll be,
Selected those businesses yet?
they did, and there are 3 Wakefield businesses. And we had a number of Wakefield business people apply, so it's really exciting. I think they were still finalizing the details of who it was going to be, but I think it's gonna be great. So they're gonna be 3-month-long seasons, if you will. Then they'll alternate. If someone wants to stay and is doing really well, I think they're open to that too.
And if they applied and didn't get picked for this one, will they get like first?
I think
select
they,
the next one, or they
yeah, I
apply
think-
again?
No, they have a rolling kind of list of who they work with, and I think they just kind of look at what makes sense, if those people can make it work and vice versa, and then they kind of take it from there. WBZ called me last Monday morning, and we came into the office. I just jumped out of the shower, got to work, and I see a call from WBZ, can you come up down to the pop-up shop? I wanted to do a quick story for the radio, so I had Jen McDonald come down with me, the communications director, and we were on WBZ and talked about this program, which was really great. We didn't still get a solid answer of how we found out about it. Anyone here? Cole? No?
They watch social media.
Oh, do they? Is that what it is? But that was really exciting. I had a number of people reach out to me and say they heard about it, so that's great, yeah.
Marketing week, right? There we go.
Yeah, what'd you say?
It's a great location.
Oh, yeah, between the train, yeah.
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
just three in the?
Yeah, so the smaller space, if you're looking at, it's like to the left. I think it used to be 2 storefronts at one point, or 2 or 3.
So
They're just doing the little,
Okay.
yeah. 600 square. So that's exciting. Marketing PR, Jen and I will have a final thing. I'm really relying on Jen. This is really her wheelhouse on what makes sense, Jen McDonald, in the next week or so.
Is Tanya been able to?
We reached out to Tanya. She provided her feedback. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Tanya. Yes, I can look over there too. And so that's moving along. Facade and sign, I'll be completely honest, these programs have been very time consuming, but all good things. So I'm just getting around to round 2 and going through all the applications. Number of people that wanted to apply the first time, didn't get it in, applied this time. So we're able to help them hopefully. The case grants, they keep rolling in, which is awesome. We funded 2 so far. I have 2 more that are in the immediate pipeline, which is great. Couple new ones, I think. So there's case, and then I'm sorry for me. How about facade and sign, case, marketing,
Speaker series.
speaker series, which we need. I know the chamber's been very busy with Town Day, which if you anyone that watches this, come on by Saturday. We'll be there.
No rain.
No rain. I said if it's a 30-year rain, I give up. Like I officially give up. And I think those are really all my updates. I realized you covered most of it at the beginning. So all good stuff. Yeah. Hopefully more WBZ interviews in the future with marketing PR. Thank you. Go back to me now.
Thanks, let's do the next meeting. So item number 8. Let's do the next meeting date first because we always forget to do it. How are folks feeling about the end of October?
So, there are a few people here that will probably be busy on the 29th because it's the Trumper, the Chamber Trumper
Oh,
Week.
okay, great.
That would probably not work for a few of us.
Okay. Well, we don't.
Ally, is trunk or treat the same night as the pumpkin night on the library steps? Is that the same?
No, I think the pumpkin night on the library steps is usually the Thursday before. So I don't know if they're doing it this year, the 23rd and 30th.
Oh, okay.
How about the 22nd? Oh, you do? Oh, okay. So Chris is whispering with me about changing how do folks feel about changing from a Wednesday?
Monday.
Mondays work for me.
Monday is town
Oh,
council, so I could probably do, I can do 6, but if
Yeah.
it gets close, that starts at 7, so if it, then it might have to just.
Is that okay? Is that too much for you? That's a lot of meetings.
I mean, Doug usually is running straight from work to the 7 o'clock town council, so it might not, we might not see him much.
Let's not put that on. Okay. Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Thursday, work good for you? Sure.
Thursday's fine. I'm checking my term right now.
So would it be the 23rd?
Sorry. Karen, does that work for you, Thursday?
So it's gonna be Thursdays moving forward, or just for next week, or month?
Moving forward, correct? Because we have a,
If we can.
Chris has a conflict. Rocco, does Thursday work for you?
Does, yep. Thank you.
Sonia's under a chair.
Sorry, my daughter is here. Which day did we talk about? Thursday what?
Thursdays in general work for you?
Yeah, Thursdays work.
You should just double check there's rooms available too on Thursdays for meetings, just something.
One, buddy. Sorry. So you do- I'll show you.
Okay, so how about Thursday, what are we saying?
23.
Do we want to do the 23rd? That's the 3rd.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, it is the 4th, thank you. 1, 2, 3. Check me. Okay.
So we're doing one bunny ear.
All right.
So
So
one,
Thursday, the 23rd.
and then you take this guy and you go around.
Tanya, can you mute?
I just did.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So cute. All right. Let me see. Great. Any announcements anyone has?
We're still looking for another, there's still one available seat for this council, right?
Yeah, who, so the last time I got I think I can go back and look, did it come from Sherry or did it come from Avery? I would love to get I'll see if I can find the previous folks who.
Sherry should have that.
Yeah, I think I have it in the email somewhere. But yes, we still have one.
Okay.
What?
You coming back?
Sorry?
You coming back?
I don't think I can, just because I'm gonna be traveling for a lot more than I have been before.
We would love to keep you. We would love to have you. You can always zoom in from the hotel. But you're thinking you're gonna not reapply?
I think I can't, yeah. I'm gonna be traveling overseas the next day
Oh, okay.
for longer chunks of time, I think, and so, yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
hard.
Will you be here next Thursday?
I might not be. That's the first trip is
Yeah.
mid-October.
Well, let's figure out how to do it going away party.
I don't even.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure,
Just-
really.
Just an envelope forecast.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there will be 2. There will be 1. There's still. So folks should apply. Folks should apply if they're interested in being on the EDC. Anyone else here, Ali?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Any items not anticipated, item number 9, anything not anticipated that we want to talk about? Okay, I want to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Rocco,
I'll second it.
you in favor? Yep. Tanya? your
Yes.
daughter? Yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank you, everybody. See you next month.
Thank you very much. Take care,
Thank you.
everybody.